Welcome back to Two Witches Talking. It's your favorite witchy aunts, Megan and Morgan.
Hello.
Hello, hello. And we are, this is the week right after the Witches Bazaar. So we're a little, maybe a little loopy still. I don't know if it's Wednesday and feels like Monday. But we're, coffee, yes. And we're having a fun episode. So
Yes.
expect a lot of fun and some silliness today. So, but yeah. How are you, other than feeling like it should still be Monday?
That's my only thing is like, I guess for the 2 weeks leading up to the bazaar, I was always a day ahead. Like I felt like it was Thursday when it was really Wednesday. So it worked very well because then it was like, oh, I gained an extra day this week. But this week is, I woke up yesterday and I was like, is it Monday? And I'm like, nope, that was yesterday. I woke up this morning. I'm like, is it Monday? And I'm like, nope, that was 2 days ago. So I'm losing time this week.
Oh my gosh, right? No, but it was a blast. It was so much fun. We had so many people. I was talking to Mike about it this week and I was like, I feel like we probably did have like those 10,000 people show up. I don't know if that's true or not, but it felt like it.
It was a lot of people. Yeah.
It was packed. Like I would try to get across the little like walkway road to go inside to like refill my water bottle or whatever. And like you had to like really like play Frogger to make it across.
Yeah, and I've looked at Desi's pictures really quickly. Ryan uploaded all of his pictures and he told me how many pictures he took. It was like over 1,000 and I was like, I cannot right now. Like, it's like my nervous system is still overstimulated in a great way. Like I'm not burned out or anything. There is like a fun, goofy high. I don't know. So, but I'm just like, I feel like if I look at those pictures, I'm going to be like, whoa.
Right. Oh my gosh. No, I glanced at them real quick because I was like, ooh, they're in our folder. And I was like, holy moly, that's a lot.
Yeah. I'm
crazy.
Excited.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, today we're reading spooky stories from you. We're sharing some of our own and sharing from Megan, right?
Yes.
Arizona Megan as well. So she contributed one. So I don't know if we're gonna say who sent what. One of our folks that wrote in said I could mention their name, but I think I'll just leave it and like let people kind of guess who it is, and the writers will know whose story it is, of course. So yeah, do you want me to start with one?
Yeah.
Okay.
You start.
Okay, so this one gave me oh hell no chills and. Ooh. So, we'll dive in, and I actually sent them a follow-up question about the dog that is in the story, and so I can confirm that the dog was okay, because we don't do stories where dogs get hurt. So,
Okay, good.
Okay. So, this person says, I've had scary encounters since I was a child. My childhood was spent in a small town in Mississippi. We lived outside of town in the woods, and my grandmother as our only neighbor. I played in the woods a lot. My grandmother warned me about whistling in the woods. She said that the wild man or booger man would find me and get me. I wasn't scared because I had my dog with me and she would protect me. Princess was a German Shepherd and Labrador mixed breed. Well, one day it happened. I was walking to the creek to catch crawdads and I was whistling. The woods got really quiet and the hackles on Princess's neck raised and she let out a low growl. I looked where she alerted at and there was a man-shaped shadow that I saw between the trees. It was big though, much bigger than my 8-year-old mind could comprehend. I felt more than heard the shadow growl back. I was scared for the first time ever in the woods. I grabbed 2 small trees, larger than saplings, but not full grown yet, maybe 25 feet tall, and shook the hell out of them while roaring. Princess launched herself at it, and I yelled and started to run off. I can still smell its stench, and I'm shaking while typing this. I heard Princess yelp. I turned and saw her limping away, and the booger grabbing its crotch. It roared again, and then it stepped back at an angle and just kind of disappeared into the brush. Princess was having trouble breathing. I'm assuming it was broken ribs. We made it back to the house, and I told my mom that a monster was in the woods near the creek, and it hurt Princess. She looked my dog over and said that she'd be okay, and that maybe I should stay inside of the house from now on. I spent the rest of the fall inside the house, reading or playing in the front yard. I eventually went back into the woods, but I never whistled again in there. I never saw it again, but sometimes I'd smell that smell, or the woods would go quiet and I'd head back home. I've had other encounters that are paranormal. I've lived in a couple of haunted places, and I work in a hospital and have seen ghosts and shadows move. I'll start sending y'all some stories. I absolutely love y'all's podcast. So thank you so much. And I was just like, hey, just want to make sure like Princess was okay. And they said, yes, Princess healed fine and had many litters of puppies and passed on of an old age. Yeah, it was very scary. And to this day, I don't whistle in the woods.
Wow.
Oh, I had chills reading it again the second time. I'm like, ugh. Yeah. Were you told like not to whistle in the woods or whistle at night?
No, but this is very strange and I don't like it. Just, I want to say it was Sunday night. We were watching something and skinwalkers were brought up. And Gabe, my son, who, y'all, my son is like, doesn't believe in any, you know, I think he's open to like the possibility of ghosts and supernatural things, but he doesn't, he's never experienced it that he can remember. So he doesn't believe it. So the skinwalkers were brought up and Gabe goes, oh, my girlfriend believes in those. And I was like, what? So his girlfriend is Native American. And it is across several tribes. They believe in skinwalkers. And Gabe was at their house one night and they were cooking and he started whistling and his girlfriend shut it down. And everybody in the house was like, do not whistle at night. It attracts the skinwalkers.
Yeah.
And so I had never heard that either, but I do know that like Tucson has been covered on one of the ghost hunting shows for having skinwalkers. And
so wild.
Yeah, it's like a Native American belief. They're shapeshifters. They can mimic people's sounds. I think they can even mimic people's features and stuff like. And so it's a very large belief here in Tucson because of the Native American population that skinwalkers exist. And I've never heard it, but now that's twice in 1 week I've been told about whistling at night. So I'm just not going to whistle ever again because
I know, right?
I'm good. I don't need to meet any of these things that are lured out with whistling. I'm good.
No. You know, it's so interesting too that like not to discount anyone's belief, but I also I've been seeing these videos of like animals just being animals and interacting like they do with one another, and it's freaky as fuck. So I saw this video of these two bobcats fighting, and I had no idea. Those motherfuckers will stand up on their back legs, and they look like a weird, like hunched over person. And I'm like, oh my God. So you know, I think it's interesting that it's like skinwalkers may be real, and also it might be that like these are just animals acting like weird animals because they're animals. And that it freaked me out though. Those bobcats. The first thing I thought of was skinwalkers. I was like, if I saw that in the dark, I'd be like, what is that weird little hunched over alien ogre thing? That is not okay. And they like hiss weird too. So like they sound unnatural. Yeah. Yep. Creepy.
Yeah.
Okay. Your turn. You want to?
Yeah. So I can, Megan, our creative director here, the Arizona Megan, she called me this morning immediately. As soon as I sent her the text and said, hey, do you have any spooky stories? She was like, I'm calling you. I'm like, oh, look. Because it was like 8 a.m. I was like, okay, I'm still working on coffee number 1. So so she grew up in northern Arizona, in Prescott, Arizona. And in her childhood home, there apparently was something. And She was telling me about a time when their basement had, like, when you go downstairs to the basement, that's kind of where the teenagers would hang out. Mm-hmm. And there was like a living area and one bedroom and like the laundry room. Mm-hmm. And so she was down in her room because, like, as her and her brothers got older, like, they would kind of, like, the oldest one would kind of go downstairs and stay. And then, you know, they would move out. And then, so she was at the age where she was getting the downstairs bedroom, and her parents were gone, and she knew this, and they were going somewhere. I want to say she said Phoenix, but like hours away, you know? Yeah. And she said she was sitting in her room and she heard at the top of the stairs, clear as day, her dad yell her name, and it was her dad's voice, and yell again a second time. So she said she popped her head out the door, up the stairs, and was like, hey, Dad, are you guys home? Yeah. And got no answer. And she was like, what the hell? So she goes upstairs, no one in the house, no cars in the driveway, no nothing. And she said that it wasn't just a voice. It was her dad's voice. It mimicked her dad's voice. And like growing up, she said her brothers had like seen certain things in the house, and there was just a very dark presence in that house that she grew up in that could mimic other people's. Yeah. And I mean, I love watching some ghost hunter shows and stuff. Usually, unless it was like a skinwalker or something like that, they say that demons can mimic.
That's what I've heard. I don't know.
I know.
I don't know. Oh.
But yeah, she said she turned on all the lights, locked the doors, and then just sat there like full alert until her parents got home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. So we have this like, you know how you kind of create little stories and myths with your family, right? Like inside jokes and whatnot. So I don't know how it came about, but we decided one day that a necessary tool for exorcising demons or entities or whatever from your home is the music of Junior Walker and the All-Stars. And then we also said, if in the event you can't get any Junior Walker, any Ringo Starr song will do. And so in my head, I was like, if it were me, I'd turn everything on and I'd be just blasting Junior Walker and Ringo Starr.
Yep.
Because, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, she said that later on, because this was her childhood home too. Yeah. So even after she got married and had kids, her and her husband went to visit, and he was asleep in one of the rooms with their oldest kid, who was still just, you know, little at the time. Yeah. And they had a noisemaker on, and he said he distinctly heard the noisemaker shut off, and then it stayed off, and then he heard a clicking sound, and it turned back on, and he thought it was his kid, like, awake, and he looked over, and the kid was, like, dead asleep. Out. Yeah. So even her husband, like years later after, you know, she got married and had kids and everything, going back into that house, he had gotten on the phone this morning, and he's like, there's just something in there.
Yeah. Does the family still own the house, or have they moved out? No. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, they don't. No.
Oh my gosh. That's creepy.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Megan. Thank you for your story.
Creeping us out.
Give us the creeps.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, you're going to like the next story. I was laughing my ass off on this one. So we will get into this. All right. When we were in middle school, 12 years old probably, my BFF and I were really into witchy stuff. Shocker. And we were playing with my Ouija board one night, which we often did. It is important to know that we were sitting on the bed, and it is important to know I had a waterbed. Yep, a big old queen-sized old school waterbed with the wood frame and headboard and the whole 80s vibe. Now, Now that the scene is set, imagine the two sassiest 12-year-olds in the world who thought they were invincible, sitting on this big waterbed, Ouija board between us, just being absolute little bitches to spirit. I do not remember what we were asking or if we called on anyone specific, but we were definitely being disrespectful little shits. After a bit of questions and answers, we asked something that was a bit too far because the bed roiled. I don't mean a pillow fell or one of us shifted. I mean from the low right corner of the bed, moving diagonally to the top left corner of the bed, it moved in a wave strong enough to toss the Ouija board to the side. It was as if someone had pushed down hard on the corner, displaced the water, and sent a ripple through the entire mattress. Riding the wave, eyes wide and meeting, we absolutely lost our shit. We screamed, ran out of the room, straight to mommy, LOL. My mom's face is something I wish I could print out and show you. She looked at us with this 1,000-yard stare and very calmly, she has the patience of Job, said, maybe we should put that away for now. We packed the board and planchette into a box. We may have honestly used tongs or something because we were so freaked. And Mom put the box in the tippy top of the game closet. At some point, I think we donated it to Goodwill or sold it in a garage sale. Irresponsible to sell the haunted Ouija board without a warning. I haven't touched a Ouija board since. Love y'all. Even if this doesn't make it on the pod, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Have big, awesome fun together this weekend at the Witches Bazaar. Yay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of Ouija board stories out there. And actually, we were talking about this last night, Mike and I. He was like, did anyone ever tell you not to play with a Ouija board as a kid? I'm like, yeah, I think so. Like, I think it was like a friend's mom. Well, we were just around all the Christians. And he said, yeah, he goes, it was the one thing my dad drew the line at. He goes, because my dad was big into the paranormal and had no problem with, talking about ghosts or like even paranormal investigations or anything. But like the Ouija board was like the one thing too far. And like, as a mature witch, I realize it's like, well, yeah, I mean, play with it, but like protect yourself and close it out. Say goodbye when you're done. So, but anytime I see it in like a horror film or something, I'm like, y'all need to close that shit out.
Yep. No, I was never told to not.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, if I ever wanted to like play with a Ouija board or something, my mom would just tell me the story of, I think it was her sister or her nephews. Her nephews were playing with a Ouija board in like a known haunted house, and supposedly the Ouija board got thrown across, the wall. And that's all the mom just told me that story, but then was like, go ahead, now So I was never told anything like that. So yeah.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't think I've ever actually used one, just because I do other forms of divination, but I'm not opposed now. But somebody must have freaked me out about it at some point when I was a kid, because for the longest time I was like, nope, I do not mess with that.
I used to make spirit boards when I owned my brick and mortar store. So I used to, in fact, I still have the first one that I ever made here. It's actually seen in a lot of our product pictures. If there's a handmade spirit board underneath the product, that's the one that I wood burned probably 15, 20 years ago, maybe. So yeah, I've had weird experiences with that one. I think because so much went into, like, the intention went into it. So that board was very powerful. And yeah, we had some nights where some friends of mine and I would sit down, and we weren't playing with it. We were witches. We were using it as a tool to contact the other side. We had salt circles. We had candles. We sat in the middle of 5 white candles that formed a pinnacle. We had quartz points, and we still had freaky ass shit happen. Yeah. So, we still had freaky, and I still have the journal. I still have the journal right over there.
Oh, no way.
Of what we would, because one of us was always, like, two of us would be on the board.
Yeah.
And one of us would be writing stuff down.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, I still have the journal sitting right over here in this room of, like, the weird shit that we would, like, pull up. And because we wanted to validate.
Right.
You know, we wanted to see if we could find the names of people. But at the time, I don't know, this would have been like 2010, 2011. The internet was the internet, but it wasn't the internet.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh. That's wild. Okay. Your turn.
So I don't have any more from like, and I have actually told lots of spooky stories. If anybody is new to my podcast, Busy, Gritty, Inked, and Witchy, we're talking maybe like 2021, 2022. Around this time, there's spooky stories 1, 2, and 3. And one of them, you get to have a slightly drunk Colin because he was on it with me.
Nice. I love that episode.
Yeah. So, but for me, we went to Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum a couple of years ago in Vegas. And before we went in, you know, I spritzed everyone down. I had gemstones with me. I had done all, because I didn't know, you know.
Right.
So we also, just to let you know, we did not pay for the extra package, the extra VIP thing, which lets you go into it's a whole room of dolls. I'm like, no, thank you.
I'm good.
Good. I don't need to see that. Like floor to ceiling dolls.
Oh, God.
And then it also takes you down into the basement, which is where supposedly satanic rituals happened in like the 70s. So we didn't pay for that. But in there, walking around in there, I was heavily affected in 2 places.
Okay.
The first was Jack Kevorkian's van.
Yeah, I could see that.
So he has the whole van in a room where he actually performed the assisted suicides. And when I got into that room, I wanted to cry. Like, it was this overwhelming grief, but also panic. And I cannot confirm this, okay? Yeah. It's my understanding that Jack Kevorkian 100% got people to sign something saying that they were doing this. But I had like this movie play or something in my head of not one, but several people that were like, yeah, I want to do this. They signed the paper. And then when he put him in the van and started the whole thing, that panic of, oh my God, I don't want to die. And at that point, it was too late.
Yeah.
So I had like this grief, but also this panic, this like, what the fuck did I do? Like that kept going, like playing in my head. Like, what the fuck did I do? What the fuck did I do? And I'm just literally standing there.
Yeah.
So that was the most. And then I don't know why, but I think he has Bela Lugosi's mirror. I think that's whose mirror it is.
Interesting.
So at the time, he had it in this room where you walk in and then you make a sharp left. The room is long and skinny and goes to the left.
Okay.
And then like there was kind of like a little wall and he had the mirror hung in this little nook. So like when you look down the little hallway, because this thing was maybe like the size of a pantry. Okay. You know, like a big walk-in pantry. Yeah. You couldn't see the mirror. He had done it to where the mirror was like around a little corner. Okay. So I walk in and down this very narrow hallway, and that was it. The dizziness started. I hadn't even gotten to the mirror yet. The dizziness started. I don't think there was any type of like, don't look in the mirror or don't look at, don't look at your reflect. I don't think, because there's certain things that he has in that thing that he's like, don't look at it in the eyes. Oh, you know, don't look Peggy in the eyes. Don't look this thing in the eyes. I don't think there was anything with the mirror. But when I finally got to the mirror, he had like a railing up and I had to grab the railing. Oh, wow. Because that little room, and it wasn't claustrophobia. Like I don't have that. Like I can go through small spaces. I don't know what it was, but like the room started spinning. So I got there and I grabbed the railing. I looked up one time to see the mirror and I was like, nope. And I was like, oh, and I had to like haul ass out of there.
Yeah.
So those were the only two places for me, at least. And he's got like a whole serial killer room in there. There's parts of a car that were in some kind of car accident that killed a famous person or something. I don't know. He's got a lot of weird shit in there.
Yeah.
There's a whole gangster, like the rug, I think, is from like a gangster's house, and you can still see like the cigarette, like where people had put out cigarettes on the rug or something. But yeah, those were the only two places that really, really got me in there.
That's so interesting. Like, I have so many questions about that mirror because it's Bela Lugosi, like an actor, but from what I understand, not like a bad, horrible, creepy person. Yeah. I just wonder what it was like reflecting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but there was something haunted about it, or there was something creepy about it because there's some kind of lore that went along with it, because that's why Zach Bagans has it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. I got to look this up afterwards because I need to know this. Well, I will end with my story about Robert the doll. And I have met and visited Robert several times. Robert lives in Key West. And the house that Robert was in is now called the Artist House because his owner was Eugene Otto. Eugene's first name is Robert, actually. So his name is Robert Eugene Otto. And he was an odd duck from a wealthy family. And the Artist House, I'll put a picture that I took of the house on our Instagram. But in the very top, there is a turret room. And this doll was the way it was told to me, and there's many stories, right? Because it's folklore at this point. But the doll was created for Eugene when he was young by his nanny. And there's a lot of speculation as to whether or not, there's like some of his hair in there or not. But over the years, anytime Eugene would get in trouble for something, he would say, "It wasn't me, it was Robert." And there are all these stories of conch families, like the conch shell, so natives to Key West, of, kids growing up, and they would wave at Robert in the window, and Robert would dance and make them laugh and all of this. And Robert was kind of secluded up in his little room because Eugene's wife, Anne, was like, "I hate this doll. This is ridiculous." Eugene ends up dying, and she has to keep the doll as like part of like the house and the will. Well, she eventually is just like, "I'm donating the house to the city, and therefore we are donating Robert." And so Robert actually now lives at the East Martello Museum in Key West. I'm a big Key West person, so I'm going to give you some details here. So the East Martello Fort and the West Martello Fort were built during the Civil War and to protect the southernmost point of Florida from, I don't know. And they were never used because the Civil War ended. And they are most often used for locals to go into when there is a hurricane because they are still standing after all this time. West Martello is a beautiful botanical garden, and so there's like a gift shop inside and all this. East Martello is a haunted museum. So in this museum, we have not only Robert the doll, but we also have a hearse that was used for decades in Key West that also carried Elena, who was the beloved of a count who lived in Key West and kept her body around for many, many, many years afterwards. I'll tell that story at a different time. The reason that's important is you walk in and they absolutely, like, if you've never met Robert before, they go over the rules. And you will never, ever hear me say anything negative about Robert, even way over here in Texas. It's not going to happen. Because if you are insulting to Robert, if you take his picture without his permission, bad things happen. They have received so many letters of apology to Robert for offending him that they've actually had to digitize them. They used to have them like plastered on the wall as wallpaper. They are now digitized. But what is interesting is that Robert sits with his little lion, Lionel, in a glass case in the middle of a room. And if you're looking at Robert's face, your back is to that hearse. And the tour guides and the volunteers that work there have told us on multiple occasions that the museum doesn't like it when Robert is gone. So they will come in the mornings, and when Robert's there, they'll find a chair from another part of the museum that had been dragged over in the middle of the night because some ghostly person wants to sit with Robert and talk with him. There's all kinds of other objects in the museum, like just like old parts of tombstones, old like war memorabilia. Down in the basement and in the tower, there are random like cool metal sculptures. I mean, it's a really cool place to explore. But every year they move Robert over to the customs house, which is over by where the cruise ships come in, for their annual like Halloween display. And when that happens, the museum he's usually in gets very loud. Things get knocked over. It gets very restless. And as soon as they bring Robert back, the museum is happy again and peaceful again. But Robert the doll is nothing to be afraid of as long as you are polite to him. So don't insult him, and always ask him if you can take his picture. And the rule is it's just all you have to do is say, Robert, I'd like to take your picture, and then take his picture and look at the picture. If the picture is blurry or if you can't see him well or whatever, you put that phone back in your pocket and say, thank you, Robert. I hope you have a good day. And you move on with your life. Because people who have taken pictures of him or been rude to him have missed flights. They will blow out, 3 of the 4 tires on the big stretch of highway between Key West and Miami. People have gotten divorced. People have gotten sick afterwards. Like all of these horrible things have happened, and they write a letter of apology to Robert, which gets read to him. And then suddenly the bad stuff stops happening. So if you visit Robert the Doll, which I highly recommend, be aware of the fact that the museum it's in, the hearse that's in the same room with him, and everything in the museum and around it is haunted as fuck. And also be really nice to Robert. Because if you are, you have no problems.
Okay, so I have a confession.
Uh-huh.
By the time this episode comes out,
Mm-hmm.
I think, so we're doing 31 days of Samhain
Mm-hmm.
On the website. And one of the blog posts is about haunted dolls. And there's a whole section in there about Robert. And I'm 99% sure that Mackenzie got a picture off the internet for
that's
the
fine.
article.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm still not using it. I'm not.
Yeah.
Nah, I haven't.
Yeah.
It's the article's uploaded to the back end, but I haven't created the graphic for that day. I'm not. No. We're deleting the picture off of the Canva, and I'm not downloading it to my computer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're just gonna have a generic picture for that blog post that day, and you're gonna have to search it yourself. We'll give you the information. I know that when she was writing it, she said something about being very respectful and making sure that the article as a whole was honoring the different dolls.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think she covers 3 dolls in there, and I think it's Peggy, Robert, and then there's a doll whose hair continued to grow after the child died or something. I don't know. I was like,
Okay.
So yeah,
I feel like I've heard that story.
Yeah, we're just not going to use that picture of Robert. We're just going to use the generic doll picture now. Thank you for educating me.
Oh, no problem. I will say the pictures that are online of him have to have been from permission. Like literally without fail. If someone doesn't ask permission, the camera will break, the phone will break, it'll come out as a complete blur. Like you can't do it. It's the wildest thing. But yeah, I've never taken a picture of him. But y'all can totally Google. It's like PTD. I don't even say Pegggy's name. Because she freaks me out. But I will say Robert is a fun one to visit, and it's fun to see like all of the stories and the letters that just roll by on the screen. But yeah, there is not a picture of Robert on any device that I own.
No, I'm a healthy believer, skeptical believer, but there's certain things you don't fuck with.
Yes, I agree.
And haunted dolls is one of them, like the one that Zach Bagans has. You have to greet her.
Yep.
You have to say hello and goodbye, and you do not look her in the eye. And let me tell you, my husband is 6'3". He's a big dude. He doesn't believe in this stuff, but when he walked into that room, he said hello to her, said goodbye to her, and did not look her in the eye.
Yeah, you just do not. Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah.
No. I was trying to find, there is a local author who has written a book about Robert, and he's the one person that it's like, if I send somebody to go look at pictures, I'll find his name, and I'll post it like on Instagram so y'all can go look at his stuff. But I trust him because he doesn't fuck around with this stuff at all. So yeah, that's the story of Robert the doll. I have all kinds of fucked up haunted history from Key West specifically. And that's where I have the best picture of ghosts, like from Key West, from the Key West Cemetery. It is the most haunted place I've ever been.
Oh no, we got really good ones one time from my favorite cemetery in Sumter, South Carolina.
Nice.
We got gorgeous pictures, full body apparition of a little boy sitting on a gravestone. There was a mom near her children's graves. Beautiful pictures. We made copies of them. Yeah. We made sure to make copies, like amongst, like there was a big group of us. And so I had one copy, my sister had a copy, and then the guy who took the pictures had a copy. Yeah. They all disappeared.
Interesting.
All of them. Like,
wow.
His camera got stolen out of his car with the memory card in it. My sister's, the memory card she had the pictures on went missing. And I had them on a hard drive, like on my computer. Yeah. And the file was corrupt. The folder was corrupted.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
so you should see if you still have those pictures.
Oh, I do. I have them in like 5 different places. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah. And they're creepy as fuck because mine are not as nice as yours sound. Yours sounds pretty nice. Mine doesn't. So Key West is thusly named because its Spanish name was Que Hueso. And so being lazy white people are like, oh, that sounds like Key West. Okay. Que Hueso means Bone Island. And the legend is the native tribe that lived there got into a tussle that was so large with another tribe that literally like the entire island was littered with the bones of the dead that, got ground up and are just on the island, right? And so there's a lot of activity there because there's a lot of energy from all that stuff.
I did not know that either.
Oh yeah. It's a witch's dream. It's a fun place to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I've never been, so I don't know if I'm going to go now.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
You just, the thing is you just gotta it's like going to New Orleans. You just gotta protect yourself. You just gotta know, what to do. So,
yeah.
Because really, like most of the ghosts in Key West are like, hey, it's party time.
Yeah.
And now that Jimmy Buffett has passed away, he's probably partying there too. So it's not a big deal.
No, I was the resident witch when we would go ghost hunting and, do paranormal investigation. I was the resident witch.
I love that.
It didn't matter. Our group was small and then it kind of grew, over a year. And I was the one that before we went into any location, any cemetery, I was protecting everyone. I had the protective herbs with me. I had sprays. I had gemstones. So all of a sudden, Morgan's crazy witchcraft stuff was very helpful.
Oh, I know. Amazing how that works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny. Well, I think, is it your turn to pull a card, I think? We didn't talk about this beforehand.
No, let's do it.
Let's do it.
We've put episodes in places before too, and
I know.
So yeah, there's no telling.
Who knows?
Why do I do have a? Why is there a box in here? Okay. I know I keep looking out the side so that when people I don't know. There's a young girl out there doing something social media-ish outside. Okay.
What's that look for?
I don't know if we should answer this one.
Let's at least hear the question and then we'll decide.
As a parent, what one thing would or did you do differently than your parents?
Next question.
Am I pulling another question?
I think so. Yeah, let's try it. You know what? You get 3 chances, and if they're all way too deep or personal, we'll pull from mine.
Oh, what accomplishment are you most proud of?
Aw. Not parenting my kid the way I was parented. No, I'm actually very, very proud of my son. He is living his life as he wants on his terms. And he's doing a pretty good job of it. He's got a great group of friends. He's going to college, all of that. So I'm very proud of that. So good job me for the parenting and all that. Yay, thank you. What about you?
I mean, because we're moms, don't we have, like, of course my children are my greatest accomplishment as well. Yeah. And I think as a mom, and we might have talked about this when you were here, like, as a parent, you want your kids to do better than you did. Mm-hmm. And if your kids did better than you did, then you did a good job.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so my kids have, completely different paths. And, I'm proud of both of them so much. But they both have aspects where, like, maybe it was stuff I wasn't taught growing up. So we taught our kids that. And now they're forging their path ahead on more stable ground than maybe what I forged my path ahead on.
Definitely. Yeah.
So I love that. And I think that is also my greatest accomplishment is my kids are doing better, I think, than I was at their ages.
Yeah. Okay. So aside from our kids, because I think you're right. Then how do we answer that? If we take the kids for granted as like the top one.
I mean, my business. Yeah. I have to, like, that's my biggest accomplishment, know? But I will get a little sappy and say I'm pretty damn proud of the work for the last year and a half, like the internal work and shit. Like, maybe not an accomplishment, but no, I mean, it is an accomplishment.
It is an accomplishment, yeah.
It is an accomplishment.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was going to kind of go a similar route, that it's like I am my witchy self and have done a lot of shadow work and released a lot of those old stories. And, I'm pretty unapologetic about the way I live at this point. So, and I realized in doing so, it's like most people are so concerned with their own thing. They're not worried about what you're doing as long as you're not hurting anybody. So, but yeah, I get witchy and woo, and I've got my gemstones and cast my spells and talk about it when I want to, and I don't worry about what people think anymore, which is a big deal. So, Bible Belt country is like, oof. There's a lot of keeping things hidden, but I'm just owning it. So I think that'd be mine.
Yay!
Yeah, I love it. Yay! Yeah. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, y'all. We are always accepting stories at twowitchestalkingpod@gmail.com. and love hearing from you on social media and on the various platforms where our podcast is available. Thank you for all the comments. Y'all are amazing. But give us a follow on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. You can find us under the Ink Goddess Creations YouTube channel. And we also have a Patreon that is free to join, where our videos are there too. And find us on Instagram at Two Witches Talking. Thanks so much, y'all. We'll chat with you soon.